and welcome. We're back again with another show. My name is Letitia Griffin, and I am here today to talk to you about any types of problems, issues, questions you may have regarding your finances, debt, anything like that. So for the next 30 minutes or so, feel free to give me a call. You can reach me at 312-738-1060. Now you'll be able to ask your questions online live and just speak with just give me any questions or issues that you may have. Now, if you don't reach me, if you don't have time to call in, you can't think of what you want to say, but you still have questions this week, feel free to reach out to a certified counselor at Family Credit at 800-994-3328. Counselors are on standby, ready and able to talk to you. Now, if you don't feel like picking up the phone, you can go online to familycredit.org, and that way you can chat directly with a certified credit counselor to answer any questions that you may have. So for the past few weeks, we've been talking just a little bit about your debt, your finances. We talked about disputes a lot on your credit report. Now that was a really great discussion. I think we all learned a lot and we shared a lot of information. We had some really great questions about disputes as well. We talked a little bit about just key points of keeping your credit in good standing. And so I want you to remember the 3 credit bureaus: TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. If you got any types of questions or problems at all, look up your credit report and then contact a counselor and take the steps to financial freedom by doing that. You'll find whatever you have questions about, someone else has had questions too. And that's another reason why we do this show, just to be able to bring the information to you so that you're more informed and you know where to go for help. Now today, the topic that I wanted to focus on is bankruptcy. Now, I do want to put this out there. I am not in any way, shape, or form a bankruptcy attorney or any attorney. I don't proclaim to be. My goal is to give you information. And if you are actually considering bankruptcy, you're thinking about it, you've got problems that you don't know how to deal with, you can contact a bankruptcy attorney and just find out some more information on the actual process itself. The reason why I'm here is to provide you with that education. A lot of people don't know the ins and outs of bankruptcy. They don't understand it. They don't know where to go and don't know who to start asking those questions to. So that's why I'm here. That does not limit the questions that you can call in about today too. So feel free to call in at 312-738-1060 and just ask any questions regarding debt, finances, anything that you may have like that. So feel free to give us a call. Now, when we're talking about bankruptcy, a lot of people think about bankruptcy because they are in over their heads. They don't know where to go. You don't know who to turn to, but all you know is that you've got debt and you can't handle it. So what are some different ways of getting out from under that debt? We're going to talk about that as well. First off, let me tell you a little bit about bankruptcy. Bankruptcy pretty much just tells your creditors, I don't have the money to continue to pay it. And when you file bankruptcy, a lot goes into it. Bankruptcy affects you for years and years and years. So that's something, bankruptcy, if you decide to file bankruptcy, it's not something that you can just come up with like that. It's something that takes time and thought. And you have to say to yourself, okay, I know I can't make it. This is what I need to do. Now, when you reach that point, that's when it's time to get legal help. Seek legal advice, seek legal help. And a lot of times you can find that information for free as well. You can do some searches online. You can go online and find someone to talk to. Now, when you talk about bankruptcy, there are 2 different forms of bankruptcy that we as consumers pretty much use. Now, I say that because there are a lot of different sections and different codes of bankruptcy, but there's only 2 that we typically use. There's a Chapter 7 and a Chapter 13. Now, with the Chapter 7 bankruptcy, what you are typically saying is that I have no way of paying any of my creditors back. So you take all of your debt and you give that over to the court system. And The courts will go through your finances. They go through all of your debt. They go through everything that you've listed on your and this could be items that are on your credit report, and maybe even things that are not yet on your credit report. But you want to list all of the debt that you have, all medical bills, collection agencies, bills from years ago that you don't remember, but you've got that information. You still need to submit that to the bankruptcy attorney. And you're going to talk to him about that. And what they will do is they will look down and look at your assets and let the court system know, and everything is set up to get rid of that debt. And that way you're not responsible for that debt. With the Chapter 13 is similar to that, but with 13 says, okay, I can't make the payments the way that I'm going right now, but I can pay a little something on it every single month. So they set you up on a repayment plan for 3 to 5 years. Now, this is not the same as debt management. It's a huge difference. And if you are thinking about this or thinking about debt management, I do urge you to contact a certified counselor and just talk to them about your situation to see if you can get help. And you can reach a counselor at 800-994-3328. The reason why I recommend talking to somebody is because bankruptcy affects you for years and years and years. Now, we as a society, we want to get things right now. We always want to find financing when we want it. We want to get the latest products that are out. We want to get financing for everything. We want to get a house, and even getting a job or insurance. They look at your credit report. If you file bankruptcy, that stays with you for 10 years. That's a black negative mark on your credit report for 10 years. So that's why this is a serious topic, something serious that we want to discuss, and serious that you want to actually think about and take some time out. Make sure you're making the right decision for you. Again, I am in no ways a bankruptcy attorney, just here to provide you financial literacy and this information on bankruptcy. One of the key components that people look for, and the reason why they actually turn to bankruptcy, is because of something that's called the automatic stay. Now, the automatic stay is really just an injunction that's, it's like a special perk of filing bankruptcy, if you will. And what it does is it tells all of your creditors they cannot take any action against you. At that point, the creditor realizes that they can't really get any money out of you anyway, and so they leave you alone. As soon as that bankruptcy is entered into the court system, that's when that injunction takes place and that automatic stay starts. So it can happen as soon as it's entered, as soon as your information goes through the court system. So if you file bankruptcy on Friday, then by Monday those creditors are notified that they need to leave you alone. And that's something that those creditors actually look forward to. That's something that one of the benefits as a consumer of filing bankruptcy is that you get that relief right away. Now, when you're thinking about filing bankruptcy, it's something that shouldn't actually be taken lightly again. And a lot of people ask me, well, I'm having problems. I lost my job. I'm having some financial issues. I can't really afford anything. When is a good time for me to file bankruptcy? Why can't I file bankruptcy right now? And I want you to think about that. If you've just lost your job, chances are you keep pushing through it until you find another job. And I know things get tough. And that's why things like bankruptcy protection, they exist. But there are other options out there too. So you can look at other options before filing bankruptcy. One of the reasons that you may not want to file bankruptcy is if you've got debt that's probably less than $7,000 or $8,000 total. That's probably not something that you want to file bankruptcy on. And a lot of times you can work out repayment options, and sometimes you can delay your payments too. The best thing that you can do if you're facing financial hardship is to contact your creditors, let them know about your situation, and see if they have any types of provisions, anything that they can do for you in place. A lot of people don't even realize that there are things that your creditors can do if you are struggling financially. You just need to talk to them. If you are not comfortable talking to your creditors, totally understand that, but that's why people are here to help you, and you can contact a counselor at Family Credit and just get more information on how to handle those situations and how to handle your debt. So another point that we want to think about when you're filing bankruptcy is, are you being harassed? A lot of people are forced into filing bankruptcy because they go through that harassment each and every single day. They're getting phone calls at work, they're getting threatening letters. Sometimes some creditors may go so far as to harass them at home or on their job. That's really not cool. And so a lot of people feel like they have no recourse. They don't know anything else to do but to file bankruptcy, because then no one's going to get paid. No one's going to receive any type of payment. And a lot of people use that. Totally understandable. There's a lot of other things that you can do besides filing bankruptcy too. So if you're thinking about it, one thing that you may want to do is do your little research and figure out ways to get the creditors to stop harassing you. One process is known as a cease and desist, and this is something that a lot of people use when they're dealing with collection agencies or dealing with predatory lenders. With and with the cease and desist, what you're essentially telling the creditor is that you need to leave me alone. I know I have this debt. I will pay it when I get time, but right now I just can't afford to pay you right now. Or sometimes even you can let them know you're harassing me. You're violating my rights as a consumer, and so you need to leave me alone. After you do that, you put it in writing, you send this to your creditor. You want to send that to them certified mail, return receipt, so that you have proof that they have actually received it. That's a huge key point. What happens if you just send a regular letter in the mail? It could get lost. But if you send it with a certified return receipt label, you actually have confirmation that they received it. You know the time that they received it. You know the person that signed for it. So that's the importance of sending a return receipt. And then you do that, they get that notice, and they cannot contact you again only after that. Now there's two things that they can do though. They can contact you again to tell you that they are not going to contact you again, or they can contact you again to sue you. And that's something that we'll talk about as well, because not a lot of creditors go down that road. When dealing with collection agencies, we'll get into that next week on things that you can do when dealing with collection agencies to clear up your credit and to just get them off of your back. So if you do have some questions about dealing with collection agencies, about the cease and desist process, it's a great time for you to call in next week and ask those questions. Again, if you've got any questions so far, always feel free to reach out to a counselor. They are on standby at 800-994-3328. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the bankruptcy process, what to do after you file bankruptcy. If you've got questions on the actual bankruptcy process itself, I do recommend that you contact a bankruptcy attorney or a legal specialist and just get more advice directly from them. Like I said, this is only to provide educational information. Now, when you think about filing bankruptcy, a lot of people want to know, well, how long is this going to affect me? Like I said, bankruptcy stays with you for at least 10 years. That means it's a black mark on your credit report for about 10 years. Now, the good news is that we kind of confuse our credit report and our credit score. Those are two different things. When you think about your credit, you're looking at your report, it details everything for years and years. So if things fluctuate, they go up and down, they're still reported on your report and it stays there. The derogatory information, even if you clear it up, it will still stay for at least those 10 years. The thing that you want to do now is focus on getting some positive information on your credit report to counteract any negatives that you may have, and that does include bankruptcy. Now, it may take a few years for you to get started because, remember, a lot of times when you just file bankruptcy, you're telling your creditors, I don't have any money and I can't pay you, so everything is gone. All of your debt is gone. Guess what? Everyone else recognizes it too. You've got creditors that are out there that are now sending you credit card offers. They are sending you offers to get loans. They want to finance you for a house. There's so many different offers that you're receiving. But a lot of times, if you file bankruptcy and you're getting those offers, you're getting them at an increased cost to you. And what I mean by that is typically the creditors that have the highest interest rates or that charge the most in fees, that have the highest annual fee, those are the types of offers that are getting sent to you. Those are the ones that they want you to open up. Now, why? They know all of your debt is gone. So they know that you probably want to reestablish credit. You probably want to get things back in order. And so, yes, you are going to take their credit cards. Sometimes this is where you have to start when you're trying to rebuild credit. Sometimes you may have to start with those higher interest rate cards, the ones that have the higher balances. The ones that have the higher interest rates and the higher annual fees, the higher monthly fees. And this is just a starting point for you to reestablish yourself. So you will probably have to take those until you can get something better. And that may take you a couple of years to do. Another thing you can do is contact your bank and see if they have any credit rebuilding products as well. Those are some great unknown tools that a lot of people don't even know about. A lot of banks have those types of products where you can go to them and take out a small loan or some sort of emergency loan and make smaller payments towards it and repay it probably within a year or so. Some banks also offer products that are like a CD, and you put that into a savings account. You make payments on that each and every single month until that term is over, and while you're doing that, it's reporting to your credit bureau. That's going to help your credit as well. So talk to your banking representatives about that. See if they've got any credit rebuilding products out there for you. There's a lot of great products in the industry that'll help. Just make sure you know what you're getting yourselves into. Look at the fees that they charge. Look at when the money will be available to you. And the most important thing that you want to check, make sure they report to the credit bureau. That's the number one thing, because right now you're working on rebuilding your credit, getting things better. So you want to make sure that whatever you sign up for is actually going to help. Be careful. You may see some things online once you file bankruptcy where you're getting offers where it's like, get our card, we can handle your finances, it's just like a bank account. Watch out for those things too, because a lot of times they are just advertising a card that's pretty much like a debit card, which has no benefit to your credit report. It's not helping you at all. But guess what? They're charging a lot in fees. You're getting a monthly fee. You're getting a service fee. You're getting a transaction fee. Some of these cards even charge you for calling them. So that's what you want to be careful of. Make sure that you're taking the right account for you, and that you're making sure that you're looking at all of their fees and that you can afford them. And like I said, you wanted to report to the credit bureau. The number one thing when you're looking at reestablishing. So those are some ways, some tips for you to get around that. Another thing that you want to think about is, what if I don't want to file bankruptcy? What can I do? As I said earlier, the best thing that you can do is talk to your creditors and see what tools are out there. See what help they offer. See if they have any programs as well that they may even allow you to skip a payment or skip a few payments until you can get things back on track. If you are struggling with your utility bills, you can contact your utility companies as well and see if they've got some programs going on right now. See if CETA is available. That's another huge thing that can probably save you if you're struggling with your finances. You want to look at that. You want to contact them, see what you need to do to qualify for those unique sharing programs that they may have, that the utility companies often has. Another thing that you want to think about is if you're struggling with medical debt. You want to look at your medical bills as well and see if you can contact, sometimes if you're working with a personal doctor, maybe the doctor's office will work with you to set up a repayment plan where you're paying at least $10 a month and they'll keep the account in-house, or something like that that will help you. If you're dealing with a network or a hospital, all hospitals offer charity assistance. And guess what? Everyone qualifies for them. Now, you may have to supply some information to them as far as your financial status. You may have to supply them with your most recent tax returns, your last pay stubs. And a lot of times you just need to provide them with a letter detailing your financial situation, what types of hardships you're facing, and they will be able to help set you up on a repayment plan. I've seen some individuals that have contacted the hospitals for charity assistance, and the hospitals have been able to even wipe out most or all of that debt. How great would that be? Especially if you're struggling with all of your bills and your debt and you don't know where to turn. This is something that could possibly help you. So you do want to take advantage of that. Contact your hospitals, contact the doctors, ask for charity assistance programs that may be available, and see what you qualify for. It can't hurt to ask. So call, ask for the billing departments, and see what you find out. Another thing that you may want to look at for an alternative into bankruptcy is finding some help dealing with your finances. I cannot stress this enough. There are so many people out there that can help you and that can help you the right way. I'm not talking about people that have high fees or things like that. I've seen people that have paid thousands and thousands of dollars just to companies that are promising to help them with their debt, that are promising to clear up their credit. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about finding help as far as debt management goes. There's great programs out there that can help you. You can contact Family Credit to talk to a counselor if you are struggling with your finances, if you need help with your budget, if you need help with your utilities and you don't know where in your budget to make ends meet. There's counselors on standby and there are options that the counselors will go over with you, such as debt management. There are budgeting options that can help you. They can sit down and tell you which creditors you can contact that will work with you directly, which creditors that they can assist you with. So those are things that are out there for free to get that advice, to get the help that you need. So keep that in mind. You don't always have to file bankruptcy if you're thinking about it. There are alternatives out there. There are people out there that can help you with that. So you want to think about that before you make any decision like that to file. And then you want to look at recovering from bankruptcy, because bankruptcy is something that will take time to get over. Like I said, it took you years to get into this mess, and so it won't be so easy to get out. It's going to take time, and it's going to take hard work and discipline on your part. One of the things that I have seen in the past is that people file bankruptcy and then they feel like their credit is shot. Well, keep in mind, you had to file bankruptcy for a reason, but it's up to you to take some time to sit down and go through your finances and get things back on track. Like I said, it's not an overnight solution. It's not an easy fix. It does take time, but you can do it. There's ways to recover, and the counselors are there to help you. There's information that is out there and available for you. There are resources that are available for you to find the help that you need too. So again, we talked a little bit about bankruptcy today. We talked about the different chapters. We got the chapter 7, which is where you get rid of all of your debt. Everything's gone. And now you are able to breathe and be able to make your monthly payments on your utilities and things like that. That's the chapter 7, when you get rid of everything. Then there's the chapter 13 that people file, which is where you set up a monthly repayment plan to pay on it for 3 to 5 years until that debt is gone, and the courts will consider everything discharged. When you reach the point of being discharged, that's when the courts really say, okay, we realize those debts are gone. You're no longer responsible for it. Now the next step is recovery. I see some people that don't get out of bankruptcy either. They just file and have it dismissed because they can't afford the payments. So you do need to stay in contact with your attorney. Make sure you're talking to them. Make sure you're talking to a counselor if you feel like you filed and you should not have, or you're thinking about filing. Always contact a counselor and speak with them. Get some help, get some advice, and see what options are out there for your finances too. Because this is serious. This is something that you can't really just get rid of. You can't really say, okay, I'm going to file and everything's great. Nope. You got to work towards it. You have to rebuild your finances. You've got to rebuild your credit. And that's what we're here for, to help you with your credit, your finances, your debt. So keep that in mind. If you've got any questions at all, like I said, you can call a counselor at 800-994-3328. And feel free to tune back in next week. Another small thing that I want to throw out there is that after you've filed bankruptcy, it is possible for you to get a home too. So keep that hope and keep working towards your finances. Again, we'll be back next week where we'll be talking about dealing with collection agencies and things of that nature. So if you've got some harassment stories, feel free to call in and share those with us too. I'll see you next week.